Still rocking after all these years.
This is the story of my rock and roll butler.
This is it, the show that started it all. Often imitated, but never equal. From San Francisco, USA. Online since 2004. It's the one and only Rock and Roll Geek Show. With the original Rock and Roll Geek, Michael Butler.
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. My name is Michael Butler. Thanks a lot for joining me. I really appreciate it. Today is Monday, October 14th, 2024. It's 9:51 in the morning. One of the earliest shows I've ever done. I just got off the phone with a guy named Ronnie Galetti. He's the singer for this band called Nasty Savage. I'm on all these promo lists for a bunch of PR companies, and one of them is Freeman Promotions, and you know, I get a promo like I always do in this band called Nasty Savage. And I had heard of Nasty Savage, didn't really know much about them, but I know they were from Florida. And when I was in Stevie Stiletto in Jacksonville, Florida, around the same time, there was a scene happening down in southern Florida with metal, pretty much the same kind of scene that was happening with punk rock in all of Florida. And that's where I heard of Nasty Savage. And I was offered an interview with the guy and with the singer for Nasty Savage. And I said, well, you know, I haven't done an interview in a long time, and it'd be nice to have some content. So I responded and said, you know, I don't know much about Nasty Savage or that whole scene, but I'll have him on the show. So that's what I'm doing today, friends. I just got off the phone with Ronnie, and he was a really cool dude. Big guy. They were known for smashing. So I did research, and the thing they were known for was this guy, the singer Ronnie, would smash televisions over his head, and I thought, wow, that's kind of interesting and sounds extremely dangerous, and a little bit like the Plasmatic. You know how Wendy O used to smash TVs with sledgehammers, and she would do the chainsaws. And so I like that kind of shock rock stuff. So I thought it might be cool to talk about Ronnie. And so that's what I did today, friends. I talked to Ronnie Galetti, singer from Nasty Savage. I did this over Zoom, and I ended my Zoom paid account because it's super expensive. So they only give you like 40 minutes. And I figure, you know, I don't know much about Nasty Savage, so 30, 40 minutes will probably be enough to talk to do it. So it's on Zoom, and during the Zoom, the 40 minutes runs out, so I apologize for that. But Ronnie was a cool dude, nice guy, loves to talk about the band, and, you know, that's what you want in a singer. He's still living in Florida, so that's what you're going to hear today, friends. An interview that I did, a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but hey, it's a good... I remember... Adam Carolla says it's good to do things that are out of your comfort zone. This was a little bit out of my comfort zone, and I hope I didn't blow it too bad. Hope you enjoyed. It's a bonus episode. You're not really losing anything by listening to it. And he's a cool guy, and he's way better in this he's way better on this episode than your lovely host Michael Butler is. But hey, as they say, it is what it is, friends. Thank you, Ronnie. Nasty Ronnie is what he's known by. He's into wrestling, and the guy's got a lot of shit going on. He's an interesting dude. And he's got a good positive attitude, too, it's always good to have positivity in this world. So thank you, Nasty Ronnie, for coming on. The band is called Nasty Savage, nastysavage.com. I will post links to where you can find this album, Jeopardy Room, and everything else about Nasty Savage. He's down there somewhere in the Tampa area where they just got murdered by the hurricane, and he was doing it from a car. You hear about all that shit on this episode. Hope you enjoy it. Without further ado, me bullshitting you right now with my shitty voice at 9 o'clock in the morning, let's just go ahead right into the Ronnie Galetti, Nasty Ronnie from Nasty Savage. Thank you, friends. All right.
Where are you located?
I'm in San Francisco, but I'm originally from Jacksonville, Florida. I was born and raised in Jacksonville.
San Francisco, hell yeah. We played the Stone there.
Oh, yeah. Are you still in, by the way, Ronnie, thank you for coming on the Rock and Roll Geek Show. I appreciate it.
Oh, brother, I'm just happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Are you in your car? We're doing this on Zoom for friends who are listening. You're in your car?
Yeah, I'm in my car, but it's good reception. I had to go away from my house because we're down from the power. We have 7 days with no power, Tampa Bay, from that big ass storm. So hopefully our power will come back, but I have no Wi-Fi or anything in my damn house. So I had to come. I had to go away from the house.
I got to give full disclosure. I'm not a huge. I used to play in a band called Exodus. You would think that I'm a huge metal guy, but I'm not an authority on the metal. So you got to bear with me on if I come across as unknowledgeable. You feel free to say "fuck you, asshole" or something like that.
No, no. You know why? You know why? I mean, I could tell by the name of the title it was a little broader scope. And that's great, man, because your followers could be new followers for us. And heavy metal is music, it's rock and roll. It doesn't matter, man. It's all about people and passion. So I'm definitely excited to work with you today. It don't matter to me anything. We could talk about paint drying, and I'll turn it into a story. Don't worry.
I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida, and I was in a punk rock band around '82. And there was like a burgeoning hardcore scene just starting to happen around Florida. Hardcore, punk rock scene. There were bands like, the band I was in, there were maybe like 5 other bands. There was a band called Hated Youth, I think, and there was a Roach Motel, Rat Cafeteria, some other bands like that. And at
the Belching Penguins.
Belching Penguins played with those guys many times. Anyway,
No Fraud. There's a lot of.
Yeah.
I forget. There's a lot of cool punk bands out here.
Around that same time, there was this metal thing happening. And that's when I heard about you guys. Nasty Savage was one of those bands. What were other metal bands happening around then?
Well, in the early 80s when I wasn't in a band, I was inspired. I started collecting records, man, from that 80s new wave invasion of British heavy metal.
Right.
Of course, there was the Iron Maiden early with Paul Di'Anno. There was Scorpions, and all of a sudden, Merciful Fate. People like Angel Witch, Holocaust, Diamond Head. Of course, Black Sabbath and that kind of stuff. And all of a sudden, Venom came out. Like Venom was like, wow. You can do anything you want to do. Like I was always inspired by the Damned, and the Sex Pistols impacted me big time, on a punk side, and Henry Rollins and Black Flag, and, that movement of reality stuff. But, it's just that there was a band called Argus that was a club band, and then we would give them these records and say, play this, and they'd start singing. They would start playing some of these British bands and stuff that we love. So we'd go there and slam dance and, just rage and thrash and headbang and all that to these. And then all of a sudden Avatar came out, which turned into Sabotage, and they recorded at Morris Sound Recording Studio. And then that was one of the biggest inspirations on us, and then all of a sudden my friend said, hey man, this band's looking for a singer. I said, really? He said, I never thought about being a singer, but I had that look and shit back then. I always was impressed by showmen, people like Elvis or whoever, and the Rolling Stones, the Beatles and shit. And I was inspired by Priest and all that. So I went over and tried out for this band. I was with my wife, my current wife now, 40 years ago. We were together and we were in her Pinto. And I said, pull over here. I'm going to try for a band. And I said, so I went in there, sang 2 Iron Maiden songs.
Where was she when you tried out? Was she staying in? You make her wait in the car? Or she come in?
Yeah, she waited she waited in the car. I said, I'll be right back. I'm going to go in and try for a band. I just bought a turntable at this place, Sensuous Sound System. We couldn't wait to get home and try a turntable. Anyway, I come back in the car. I said, all right, I did it, whatever. Then I never hear back from the guys. I'm like, dude, I wonder what happened. So I was at a keg party like a week later, and I saw them. I said, oh, dude, I'm going to go. I said, hey, man, do you guys want me to be your singer or not? And they look at me and go, yeah, we do. I go, I'll be over Monday with a game plan. Right. I'm like, I'll be over Monday, man. Get ready. So I go over Monday. It's the Jam House. I go, everybody out of the house except the band. And they're looking at, who is this guy? I said, everybody, come on out. Okay, you guys sit on the floor. Let's go. So let's sit in a circle, man, like Indians. And I said, the name of the band is Nasty Savage, and I'm going to be Nasty Ronnie, the wildest singer ever. I said, and within 1 year, we're going to be signed to a record deal. We'll be getting fan mail from all over the world, and we're going to be doing tours and shit. Is everybody in? I said, we're going to make this thing called the Wage of Mayhem demo tape. We're going to save our money. And all this is going to happen in 1 year. And they're like, hell yeah, let's do it. So that's when we just busted out, man, and blazed our own trail, and just there was no rules in marketing or promotion. And I wasn't really a singer. I was just a guy on stage who plays being a singer. But I'm going to do my best to be one and make this goal happen. So that was my job, is to market, brand, promote, push.
So
sensationalize,
where'd you find this band that was looking for a singer? They put an ad out in the local rag or something?
No, actually, it was a friend of mine was at my house one day, and I have 2 rock boxes. So I'd play a tape on this box, and then I'd sing over it, and it recorded on that box.
Right,
and
the original 2-track recording.
Yeah, and I kind of was messing around with another band called the Chronic Dogs. I really don't talk about it, but the Chronic Dogs, man, was this band I was in, and I was really shy and everything. We played like Molly Hatchet and Stones and things like that. And one of them was Jumpin' Jack Flash, because our album just came out in a crossfire hurricane here in Tampa Bay, and it just got released during the hurricane. It's just so cool. So anyway, he goes, hey, man, I know a band. If you really want to do it, and that's how I did it. And we just started doing it, man. And as soon as we got our demo tape going, we started getting fan mail and shit. So I went right to the Brandon newspaper, local boys doing good story, human interest. I said, hey, man, we're getting mail from all over. They go, oh, let's do a story on you. And I said, killer. So they did a story on us, and then we're playing live. So I said, we're playing. They sent some photographers out to shoot our show at Ruby's Pub, this famous, infamous place where all these live tapes and all these other bands came after us would play in this place. And the guy, why would a promoter pay you to play and if you don't have a following? So you got to create all this stuff, people. So I did a deal with the guy. I said, look, we don't want to get paid. Just give us the door. And we'd take the whole door. I had one of my guys work the door, and we would get like $1,500, $1,800 from the door when we just started out off a demo, where other bands didn't even know how to do this shit. So, we'd play at Ruby's Pub, and that's where it kind of all began. But damn, I forgot where I was going with that.
Were you guys doing all covers or originals? Just half originals, half covers?
Oh yeah, we started doing originals right off the bat. We did play a few covers. We played some Venom, and we played just Holocaust and things like that.
So you were doing like obscure covers, so people thought
yeah, definitely.
All the bands in Tampa at that time, because when I was in Jacksonville, it was all cover bands, and then there was this punk rock scene started, and a lot of the punk bands would play Ramones and all that shit. But then we started playing originals. Were all the bands that were playing down there cover bands, or were there original bands too?
Well, one reason that I wanted to go all original, because I really couldn't sing like Rob Halford and make it sound like you got another thing coming, and shit like that. So I said, you know what? Let's just do what we do. But now I remember what I was about to say. The marketing of Nasty Savage in the early days, we did this thing at Ruby's Pub. I brought the photographers there, right? And these guys are used to taking pictures of a ribbon cutting or someone presenting a check or, a new daycare being opened and, boring ass shit. Now they're in this mayhemic, crazy, Nasty Savage. I mean, the fans were just unbelievable, packed in there like sardines.
So how'd you get so many people? How'd you get so many people to show up?
Because we created this thing, and after we did 3 or 4 shows,
right,
it was the talk of the town, man. Right. It was the talk of the town, and people were going, yeah, I saw these guys. Our first show was in a suburban neighborhood. The guy's parents were out of town. We went into a job site and stole all this construction wood and built a stage. We tied it to the top of Fred's van. We built the stage, and we promoted the show with flyers, and told people. And then there was about 50 or 60 people in the front yard of this guy's house, and here we're playing, and And right before we got on stage, my buddy was there with a Harley. I said, dude, let me borrow your bike. And I rode his Harley right through the crowd, right up to the stage and got on. So right away, that's impactful.
Right.
And then we played 2 songs, 3 sheriff's cars come up, and I go, okay, man, wait till they get here to play. And we stop. They come up to the stage, and right when they're about to talk to us, we started playing Judas Priest Breaking the Law.
Right.
So the defiance that we showed got people really excited, and then they said, this is done, you're done, stop it, you're going to jail. We said, okay. And as soon as they left, we started cranking it up again. They came back again, and we really pulled the plug. But that's the way you start. If you want to get someone's attention, give them something to talk about, and that's what we did. We blazed that trail, and there wasn't a lot of bands at that time. So these kids that were watching us, we're starting to go, man, this is cool, because we didn't have anybody to follow. We were like at the forefront. We were like Barnum and Bailey or the Colonel Parker with Elvis. We just had to make shit happen. So these kids were watching us, and what did they do? They went and got guitars and drums, and they created that second wave of metal, more of the death metal. They took it to a whole nother extreme. They were inspired by what Nasty Savage was doing. Bands like Obituary, Deicide, Morbid Angel.
All those bands were from Tampa?
Yeah, all those bands came from Tampa Bay, man. And we were the seed that helped blossom that. It was so killer. Now, going back to the photographers, the next thing I would do, they come out after the show. Oh man, that was cool as hell, bro. We love it, love it. I said, okay. I said, I'll be all cut up or whatever. I said, let's go. Can we go to the dark room tomorrow at the newspaper's office and develop a few photos? And they're going, hell yeah, I got the key. So I'd go to the dark room with them, and I'd sit there for hours. I go, oh, pick this one out, pick that one out. These are great photographers. And I got them to develop, pushing it in the water and pulling it out and making these 8x10 glossies and shit. I go home with a stack, man. And the next day I would send out demos, some photos, bios, and tell everybody where they can buy the demo. And I'd send them out to hundreds within a month. I'd get all these fanzines all around the country and then worldwide. And then about 3 months later, they'd come back in the mail I'll be on the cover, inside features, because I provided them what they needed to help me help them, So if I'm a publisher, I am a publisher. I produce a magazine called Born to Ride for the last 28 years, still printing a magazine in the biker community here in Florida in the Southeast. I also produce a TV show called Born to Ride for 28 years on television. I was a producer, a director. I sold, market, brand, promote, so the 1,340 TV episodes I did, and I just stopped that after COVID. So now I'm just still printing the magazine. So I knew back then what a publisher needed. He needed content. I'd provide him the content, boom, and he'd be sitting there, get in the mail, go, holy shit, great cover story. And it was just marketing. You can go far with common sense these days, Common sense will get you further than someone that's just a degree and all this degree. If you don't have common sense, man. So, that's how we created that stuff in Brandon, and then it branched out to Tampa. And then I had a list of every underground college radio show that was in existence. And sooner or later, I'd send a demo tape to each one. But I would go back to the Rock Box, and I would cut that little promo. Oh, okay, this one's for Texas. Okay, this is on the end of the demo. I always had some space, so on the cassettes. And I said, this is Nasty Ronnie from Nasty Savage here on KPFT Houston, Texas. And here's a song of our new demo tape.
You cut IDs for the radio station.
Mayhem. This is Unchained Angel. So yeah, DJ sitting there and gets it, and what's he gonna do? He's gonna play the hell out of it. Yeah. And that was how we did it, man. And one day, I'm sitting at home. I'm sitting at work. I was a shop foreman in this place, and I call my mom every day and say, "Mom, what did we get today?" And she, "Oh, you got a bunch of letters here, and there's some packages, and here's one from Metal Blade Records, and it was the one from Brian Slagle saying, I want to sign you guys to Metal Massacre 6, and I want to give you a whole album of your own." And that was when I could tell the guys, it all happened, guys, within the year. We did it, We're going to be big stars, That's what we really thought back then.
So that girlfriend you had that took you to the audition, you're still with her?
Yep. 10 years after that, we finally got married. And now we've been married for 30 years. We have 2 kids. My son Ron's 21. My daughter Emily is 23. And yeah, she's always supported me through all the shit I've done, wrestling, heavy metal. She always had the corporate jobs and the administrative stuff. And I'm always that creative guy. She worked with me at Born to Ride. I'd come in, I go, yeah, we're going to do this. She goes, we can't do that. I go, yeah, we are. I go, because I just sold it. We're going to figure it out. We got this. I'm a salesman. I'm a marketer. And she's always been, it's like wing and wang or whatever that is. And, it's just like, it's been awesome, and it's so important to have happiness in your life, but a balance as well.
Right. You're a big dude. I was going to ask you if you're a pro wrestler. You were a pro wrestler?
Well, I was always inspired. Like they say, what inspires Nasty Savage? I said, well, it's a mix between pro wrestling meets Jim Morrison meets Alice Cooper and Slayer or something like that. It's in your face. But wrestling was always a big inspiration to me when I first moved to Florida from New York when I was 10, and I found out about championship wrestling from Florida.
Yeah, we had that guy, Gordon Soley was the host.
Yeah, Gordon Soley.
Yeah, and Pac Song, the Great Malenko. I used to watch it with my grandfather. I had the Great Malenko.
Yeah, man, I watched it with my mom. Yeah. I used to watch it with my mom every Saturday night before my friends would come and pick me up at 8 o'clock to go out and party on a Saturday night. And the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, just put this impact on me, the son of a plumber, the people's champion, that kind of stuff. And, I started to just love wrestling. And all of a sudden, Kevin Sullivan, the Prince of Darkness in the 80s came in, and he was a satanic, evil from the darkness. And I just loved him. And one day I got to meet him, and I eventually got him to come to a Nasty Savage show so he could really see who the hell I was after I followed him around all these arenas. He came, and once he saw at Ruby's Pub what we were doing, he called me up and wanted to work with me. And he wanted to use the flash bombs that I had on stage. So we were one of the first people that I helped in wrestling to get pyrotechnics in a big show in Daytona. And I was part of his entourage, Nasty Ronnie. And then I took him to Vandekar's house. See, when you meet people, you got to give value to gain their respect and to make them want to work with you. So the next thing I said is, dude, you got to see Vandekar's house if you want to cut some killer promos for the TV show, Championship Wrestling from Florida. And Vandekar's the guy who painted our albums. He was a warlock. He had this domed house, concrete with a big gargoyle on the top. He had all these enchanted statues all over the place. And we went there. And we cut the intro to Championship Wrestling from Florida. And Kevin Sullivan, he goes, I'm with Nasty Ronnie. People like this are the people. Nasty Ronnie from Nasty Savage. So here I was on the intro of pro wrestling with Gordon Soley and shit. That way, then I went to the Malenko School of Wrestling. I worked out there. I started promoting. I started being a wrestling manager and a promoter. And by then I was running my own wrestling shows. And that's when a guy from Universal Studios, Eddie Mansfield, came to me and said, hey, man, I'd like you to work with us. So we're going to start up a TV production at Universal Studios, Soundstage 23. So I worked with Eddie Mansfield and co-produced 200 episodes in 1990 of the International Wrestling Federation. And I've worked with a ton of wrestlers since then. And I had Luna Vachon and Locke on my album, Indulgence, and the song Triple X. And I ran a ton of my own shows. And so, it was a love of mine. I got to move in from heavy metal right into pro wrestling. I did have some matches, mostly gimmick matches. Like if my guy lost, they get 5 minutes in the ring with me, like Blackjack Mulligan and people like that. And what I would do is if I knew that was going to happen on the way there, I go to like Goodwill and I buy a suit and I take a razor blade and chop it up so it's easy to rip apart. When I'm in the ring for 5 minutes, starts ripping my suit off, and turns out I'm down to my cowboy boots and some fucking wrestling trunks, and that was about it. So yeah, I love pro wrestling.
That Great Malenko guy, he had a wrestling school?
Yeah, in Tampa Bay, and his sons were great wrestlers too.
His character was a Russian guy, I think, and he had the hole called the Russian sickle. He wasn't Russian. What was he like? He was like a southern redneck dude.
No, he's more of like a Boston or New Yorker
Oh, really?
guy.
Okay.
But it was Boris Malenko, and man, in the land of the blind, one eye is king. He always said, hey kid, in the land of the blind, one eye is king," because he's trying to teach people how to wrestle. And his sons were killer, Dean Malenko and Joe Malenko. Dean Malenko is a big time superstar in the WWF and WWE as the shooter. So we got to, I learned from guys like that. And what I would do, I'd take guys from his wrestling school and bring them to Orlando, and then we turn them into heroes and villains. And it was just incredible. I learned a lot from Eddie Mansfield.
Is that where? So okay. I was watching videos, and I think you're known for like smashing a television over your head or something like that. I was watching this YouTube video. I'm sorry, I'm not an authority on Nasty Savage. Like I see, I see these guys who act like they're authorities, and I'm not going to bullshit. I'm not an authority, but I was watching videos, and you were having like a fight with a television. You were like, it was like a battle between you and the television got destroyed, and you're getting knocked all over the stage, and the television smashed on your head. Was
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's usually some crimson blood coming out too, and it's
right.
It's total theater, man. It's like.
So did you ever get hurt from that television? Did it ever hurt you?
Yeah, you take what you get. You give and you get. It's sort of like a bullfighter. You're coming to a bullfight. Some of them might get gored with them horns. Some of them might get really fucked up. But you know what's going to happen at the end to the bull. It's a theater of death.
It's pretty entertaining to watch. Is there a trick to doing it? I mean, did you just use a regular television, or did you take the tube
man,
out?
I have the promoters supply them, man, because in the old days I used to bring them with us and I have them all the time. But one of my big influences was Wendy O. Williams from the Plasmatic.
I don't know if you can see, there's a Plasmatics poster right behind me on the wall.
Well, man, Wendy is she became friends of mine and pen pals, and she promoted our debut album on national TV on some metal show she was doing. And then in turn, we came to CBGB's and played there on the Bowery in New York. And the next night, anyway, we went to CBGB's, and I was in there, and the owner goes, "Are you Ron?" I said, "Yes." He goes, "Here's a telegram for you." And it was a telegram from Wendy O. Williams saying, "I'm sorry I can't be there tonight, Nasty. I will see you tomorrow at Lemoore. I'm in L.A. with Lemmy right now in Motorhead, but tomorrow I'll be back in New York." So it's like, wow, I got a telegram from Wendy O. Williams. But, her impactful show was a big impact on me. That Commander of Chaos and just the Plasmatics and Richie Stotts and blowing up cars on stage and crashing them in swimming pools and smashing them with sledgehammers, televisions, and sawing guitars in half. So it was like anti-authority. You get so much information from a television. Let's just shut that down, and let's use it as a tool to take people on a trip. Because if you have the stage, you might as well do something with it. And that was always my gimmick, to use the television as this kind of tool for me that, like, I was possessed by, or I was possessed for it. I'd look into it, try to get it to work. I'd take the remote, shoot it at the crowd, or I'd take the cord and I'd turn Asmodeus or one of our songs. I'd just pull it around like pulling a wagon, like a little wagon, and just, I'm going back to my childhood and shit. And the most killer part, though, is when I finally go to smash it, I pick it up over my head and I hold it up in the air. And when I look into the screen, as I look up at it, I see my reflection. I can see my reflection about what I'm about to do. And I can see all around me on the floor and shit, and the band and the stage and the people. And I know what's about to happen. I'm going to smash that TV. I'll smash it on my chest a few times. Then I come up, hit my head. It's something I've always loved to do, because it's so, like, it'll burn images in your brain. And then when I do smash it, the blood comes out, and then I finally get a way to get it all out of there. And I just have the frame of it. I stick my head through it, and the look of the people's faces, man, it's just joyful to me. It's just crazy. It's shit that they'll never forget.
Doesn't the picture tube explode and cause all kinds of poison gases and shit all over the stage?
Breathe deep the poison gas. Living
oh, really?
You
put that in lyrics. That's cool.
Well, it wasn't one of our songs. I forget which one, but
So,
you know,
I mean,
that's
didn't the
all part of it.
audience?
You know, I used to do it with no shoes on, like barefoot, like Ronnie Van Zant and shit. And I said, fuck, I'm gonna start wearing boots now because I get cut up too much. But yeah, it's like it looks like a car accident scene. There's shit all over the stage. Now I incorporated flowers, bouquets of flowers, man. Why flowers? We have a song called The Morgue, and we usually smash the TV later in the show. And I have like 2 songs after I smash it. So I have 2 more songs to mess with it and pull it out and break it up and hand pieces to the crowd and shit. And they love it, man. It's just like they're getting gifts throughout the whole time. And while I'm bleeding, I bleed down on the song list and shit that I have on the stage. And it's usually a promo picture. With the back, I write the songs. So then they get a promo picture with blood on it and shit. They're giving gifts. But the thing with the flowers is we have a song called well, I do a little talk to people, you know, because if I have the microphone, I might as well do some positive messages and, you know, try to affect people in a positive manner, you know, send them home, maybe something to think about. So I'm saying, dude, you're not talking to your parents or your mom or your dad or your brother, you know, you got a friend that you hate now for some stupid reason, or you might know someone, even someone listening right now, might know someone who's contemplating or talking about suicide. If you feel that, reach out to them, man. Save a life. We could just make one person a better person and live longer and not do something stupid or something they just don't know about. Reach out to them. Call, make the call, because the next place you might see them is in the morgue. And then the song The Morgue starts as this real eerie intro. And then goes the fear of evil. So lurks around. And it goes. So I turn around real quick and I put this skull mask on, like a Day of the Dead mask. And then I act out tragedy. You know, because when you put a mask on, you can act better. You know, you could be happy and sad like a pantomime guy. But, you know, I really want to give that sorrow, sadness, and you know, and with that it's slow moving and the lights are on, and then I grab these flowers and I get over the TV and I'll take the roses petals or whatever, like she loves me not, but I'll be dropping them on the television. And really what that is a symbolic thing to me, that these are sacrificial fucking flowers because this TV is going to get sacrificed later. You know, so if you get it, you get it. But if you don't, you still feel this emotion. And then all of a sudden, I'll look out at the crowd, you know, with this mask on, and I'll just give a flower to a girl up front. And the joy on her face, she just got a flower. And then I find another one, you know, and it's just, then I go back to what I'm doing. Then the song's going, and it just goes all right along. To me, it's just a surreal type of environment that I provide when I'm doing my shit, but it's really about the music, the hypnotic music that makes me do this stuff. But I've never known anything but that.
The band, so you guys broke, I'm reading on the Wikipedia thing, you guys broke up in 89, something like that. Oh, I have 10 minutes left in this free Zoom meeting. I'm not paying for Zoom, so we probably got like 10 minutes. I hope that's okay, Ronnie.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah.
You guys broke up in like 89 or something like that. Why'd you guys break up?
Man, we broke up. We did a tour with DRI. We did 60 shows in 65 days, and it was killer, man. I mean, man, it was the greatest time ever. And, you know, but every time we do a tour, and we come back, we'd all be upset and we got ripped off here or there, or just bad management. And we're just dumb and young, you know, young and dumb. And we're tired of being tired, and we just broke up, and that was it.
What did you do when the band broke up?
Well, I was working in pro wrestling, so I started doing that more. And then gradually people kept saying, Nasty Savage, we want you to play here, we want you to play there. And I put the band back together with new members, and then we were off to the races again. Did a few shows, and then that a guy actually contacted us in 2000 about doing an album, and he paid us a bunch of money to record, and he paid for all the production. So we all got back together and wrote an album, and that happened about 2001 or 2002. We did a whole album called Psycho Psycho. And then from there, after that, we broke up because no marketing, promotion, no management. And then I just started I was doing Born to Ride. I've been doing the wrestling stuff, and I have booths in antique malls all over the state of Florida. I'm a picker. I'm out buying and selling all the time, and I collect everything.
Oh, is that
I
what
have
you do for a living? You're an antique guy?
No, more of the Born to Ride's my living. The
Oh, okay.
antique thing is on the side, but I've got several storage units full of cool stuff that I collect. But anyway, we got the band back together. New members. David Austin, the original guitarist, was in. We got three other new guys, and started playing until 2 years ago when Dave quit after we played Mexico City. But we played Peru and Chile. We played LA, all over Chicago, all these killer New York, and all over we played. We just did. We just now after he left, I got the rest of the guys. We got Dave Orman in the band. We got this record deal a year ago, and that's why we've been creating this record over the course of a year, so it would be out in time for us to play at Keep It True Festival in Germany and celebrating 40 years of Nasty Savage, which we just did, and the record just got released, Jeopardy Room. So it's been a whirlwind, man. It's really cool. And while we were doing that, we played in Colombia, and then we went to San Antonio, Texas, and we just played Brooklyn, New York. And I'm 62, man. I'm going to be 63 years old, still smashing television sets and, still limping through airports and shit. It's a lot of walking and stuff. But, man, I'm excited about the Jeopardy Room, which is our new album. And it's really fresh. We did the whole thing in 8 sessions at Morrisound Recording Studios. And I think we really came out with something really powerful.
What's the label that it's on?
It's a German label called FHM Records, out of Germany, and smaller label, got a small budget. I had an angel investor, who's our executive producer, Anthony Musgrave, and without him, we probably wouldn't have been able to do what we did, and it was really killer. And now people can get the record in America too. There's American distribution. Gary Schaefer, it's the Heavy Metal Museum. Anyway, if you want to get the record in America, it's Gary Schaefer, Heavy Metal Museum. We did have a tragedy. We lost our original drummer right before this storm hit, Curtis Beeson. He passed away, had a brain tumor for 11 years. He fought it. And then the storm came. Rest in peace, Curtis. The storm came, and then our practice room that Pete Sykes, our guitarist, owns here in Tampa, was flooded about 4 or 5 feet in there. So all the gear, the drums, everything got destroyed.
That's from this most recent hurricane?
Yeah, it just happened, man. We have a GoFundMe. They could get that at our Nasty Facebook group, Nasty Savage Metal Nights Facebook group, Nasty Savage Metal Nights. Go there. You could sign up. Become a member. Like-minded people for Nasty Savage are in there. And
are there other? Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. You can make a donation there.
I'll post links to all this stuff on rockandrollgeek.com, by the way.
That's cool.
So, are there other bands from that time that are still going or reformed?
Well, I mean, not so much, but I mean, the bands that have come from here, Obituary, Deicide, Morbid Angel, they're all still jamming. And there's a lot of new bands too. But as far as old bands like us, and I don't really know. It's just not that I know of.
There was some band from down there put out some documentary a couple of years ago that reformed. They got offered to play some. Oh
yeah, those are my friends in Siren.
Siren, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're part of our record label too, but they don't do many gigs. But this was a great story that they did, and Chris Jericho, the wrestler, actually helped fund that for them.
Okay.
That's an amazing story.
Yeah, I think aren't you guys in that documentary?
Yeah, that's right. I am, because, back in the day, I was like the king of media on metal. And one day, so other bands would come to me and go, dude, how are you doing this shit? Golly. So I told Ed from Siren one day, I said, dude, if I'll give you all my contacts, here's like 10 pages of contacts or fanzines and media sources and radio stations that have really helped us. I want you to take this ball and run with it, man. Score some touchdowns. Do it. Because I wanted to see if they would really follow up. And I'll provide him the gasoline. He just has to drive the car. And that's what Ed did. And I knew that the more people would start seeing another band from Brandon or another band from Tampa with Savatage and Nasty Savage, they'd want to hear them. It would help our scene grow, because here we were from the swamplands of Florida, by the beaches and the swamps. And you had California, you had Slayer, Exodus, Metallica. New York, you had Anthrax and, Overkill, whatever. So here we were coming out of, I needed more people to get behind this metal movement that we were doing, even hardcore, whatever. Whoever was having a scene that had passion, I was trying to promote and market it. And I even started my own Nasty Savage fanzine where I would help other bands and I'd do record reviews or just promote record companies. So they'd send me free records, man. I would help. I would advertise them, man.
Yeah.
I'd have free records, man. Can't beat it.
Ronnie, you sound like a cool dude, man. You sound like you're for the metal scene, and you're not just like a selfish, egotistical guy. You seem like a decent dude. So I'm glad you're still doing this.
Yeah, man. I think you just have to be real in life, man, and give value to people. And if you want their respect, give them some. Do more than you promised. Over deliver. Under deliver. No, over deliver. And just give value. Like if you work for me, come in early and stay late.
Exactly.
Don't come in late and try to go home early.
Yeah, you got a good work ethic. Yeah,
man, move up in the world, work hard. There's no bullshit. When the green flag drops, people, the bullshit stops. Just you can talk all day what you can do. I'm from Missouri, man, the show me state, and if I'm on your team. I used to love it when I was a kid, and we're in the backyard and we got 20 kids on the yard, and the two big guys are picking the teams for football, for Sandlot, and I was always like the first guy picked. Always, I want Galetti on my team, because they knew I was a dog, man. I'd run the ball right over you, or I'd make that tackle, a woo hit, and that's just my philosophy in life. But value to your boss, to your people, to your loved ones, to your relationships, man. It's the only way they're going to work.
Yeah.
Have a friend and be a friend. And when a fan asks you something, give them that moment to make them feel really special, and give them that, because life is. There's a line in one of our songs off of Southern Fried Homicide, and it says, "Joy and sorrow today and tomorrow. What greater crime than the loss of time?" That's what it's all about, man. Joy and sorrow. Love it. But you're going to feel it. Joy and sorrow today and tomorrow. But what greater crime is if you don't take the time, man, if you lose time, if you don't produce, if you procrastinate, opportunity, take it, and make it and be it.
Well, Ronnie, thank you for doing this, and congratulations on the album. What's your favorite song on the album? I'm going to close out with a song, so I'll play something from Jeopardy Room. What song would you like me to play?
I love them all, but I'd say the longest one is really cool. It's
We ran out of time on the Zoom. I think Ronnie is talking about Aztec Elegance, so we'll close out with Aztec Elegance. Let's see if I can get him back on. I don't think I can. Fuck.
Hey, man.
Hey, Ron, sorry about that, Ronnie. The Zoom.
We're probably done.
Our time limit.
Done?
Yeah, Zoom's. It's like $200 a year for this bullshit. So I usually just do the phone interviews. Thank you for doing it. So are you talking about the song Aztec Elegance? Is that the song?
Yeah, that's one, or whatever one you like, man.
I'll play that one.
Brainwashing. Yeah, that's cool.
All right. Thanks, Ronnie. I appreciate you doing this, friend.
All right, brother.
All right.
Reach out. Anything you need, man. Love to keep up with you on social media and follow you too. So I'm Ron Galetti on Facebook. If you just let me there, and we go from there or whatever.
All right. Everybody message Ron on Facebook and let him know that he didn't waste 42 minutes of his time on the Rock and Roll Geek Show. I appreciate you doing this, Ronnie.
All right, brother.
All right. Good luck with the album. Are you guys going to play some gigs soon?
Yeah, we're going to play Swarm Fest in Tampa here in November. It's a 3-day metal fest at the Brass Mug, and then we're going to Texas to play Hell's Heroes. That's a big show.
All right, Ronnie, good luck, and we'll keep in touch, friend.
Thanks for everything you do, brother. I really appreciate it. Keep up the great work, man. Love it.
Thanks. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
All right, there you go. Ronnie Galetti from Nasty Savage. All right, friends. Thank you for listening. Last minute interview. I'm not an authority on Nasty Savage, but seems like a cool dude. And let him know you heard about him on the Rock and Roll Geek Show. NastySavage.com. The record is called Jeopardy Room. Let's play the long song, Aztec Elegance. I'll talk to you soon, friends. Tomorrow I'm interviewing Dragon, and I'll probably be just as unprepared as I was today. But hey, what are you going to do, friends? Thank you for listening. RockandRollGeek.com. It's a value for value, and if you get any value out of this, please, friends, you know what to do. rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. Find me on the Facebook, R&R Geek. Find me on the Twitter, R&R Geek. NastySavage.com. Nasty Savage on Facebook as well. Look up Ronnie. Seems like a cool dude. All right, friends, I'll talk to you soon. Here's Aztec Elegance.
It's a rock and roll geek train wreck.